what happens to me when I go listen to electronic music. I hear a lot of songs that are remixed and they're cut short, or they're remixed with some like indigenous flow, then to this like crazy beat, and then you're left being like, where's the history? So when I heard that, I got really excited. Panama as well has a very complicated relationship with the United States of America. So there's just like a lot going on here, a lot going on in this song. I absolutely love this music. And yeah, I thank you guys for kind of like having that musical breakdown with me. If you're interested in more of these like musical breakdowns, I would highly suggest, there's a movie coming out actually. I'm gonna pull this up. I'm feeling really creative and funky today. Ninth Wonder documentary, where is this? So if you didn't notice, I can't really like move around and show you. I can move the desk, but like this BeLive studio is equipped with a lot of awesomeness besides like the new colored lights that they added. My setup here, I have access to a computer, I have access to the dot cam, and I also have access to access right here that I can just like pull this clip up live. And on the topic of deconstructing music, this is actually a really beautiful story. Ninth Wonder, who's a producer, a rapper, artist of many different varieties. He is coming out with a documentary. And this documentary actually, I had the great privilege of going to this lecture where he played a Nas track on live turntables, and then he deconstructed that sound and he slowed it down, and you can hear the funk record kind of emerging from that, which was a beautiful thing. So here he is at the Harvard Hip Hop Archive talking about music. So he has this documentary trailer called The Hip Hop Fellow, and I would really encourage you guys to kind of just like on your own, like go check that out, see what that's about, and go support like this new field of music, ethnomusicology, anthropology, discoverology, whatever you guys want to call it. You know, I'm here for the public, so this is what I'm going to call it. So that's kind of like what's going on here. So I think that was really powerful example. So I was really happy to bring that to you. So healing, arts, and diversity. Arts, healing, diversity. I have something that's going to fit right in the middle that I'm really excited to read to you guys. So I'm going to take a little bit. So there's a criticism, right, of, you know, when journalists get personal, or journalists can't be activists or things like that. But this is public access TV, where I have the beauty of being in a community that really values free speech. Part of my life and part of my life's work is being an artist. Sometimes people ask me about that, like, what do you do with your art? And I express myself. I, you know, fertilize my identity. I keep going. I keep living. And this is really something that was really powerful. And I actually wanted to share with you guys a little bit of my art. And so I'm going to hit the middle with that, and then we're going to end it with some really awesome emotional education about faces. But I wanted to read you something. It was recently, someone looked it up on my, it was recently a hit on my blog, which I was really excited about. I'm just going to pull up my blog right here, which is really interesting. Yeah, I'm going to pull this up right here, and then we're going to talk about it. So let me go back in the little P&P action, which I am old enough to remember when picture-in-picture was a really big hot thing on television. Anyways, this is my blog. You can see like past archives of Café con Gas local news. It's socassandra.wordpress.com. Please check it out and support. Here we go. All right, so home. So yeah, here's my blog. Here's like an increase in views. I really believe in, oh, here's my emotional check-in. All right, so one of the things that I do in my blog, and I really want to advocate, is that for emotional literacy and expression. So something that I do on my blog is called a desktop dump. So I put in a lot of images that inspire me. Someone thought I looked like her, which is really funny. She's an Italian model. This woman's 40 years old, so I was like, more power to me and her and all of us. Here's a really beautiful image that I chose to celebrate the spring equinox and the coming of spring. So I wanted to read you something, and I'm going to pull up an image to help you understand the context. Yes, there are occasional obligatory selfies here. Where is this? I lost the link. Let me go back. Okay, we're live. Bear with me. This is it. So I wrote this poem a while ago, and I was really surprised when I wrote this poem. And it has a picture. This is me when I was really young. And it's intense, and it talks about my identity as a Puerto Rican. And recently I've been in my own journey of processing emotions. There is an emotion that I had difficulty expressing, and that was anger. I wasn't allowed to express it as a woman, as a female. And so this poem talks about that. And I wanted to do something a little bit different and read you guys this poem. And we're going to leave this up while I do this. I used to slam too, so it's a little bit of a thing. But this isn't about me. This is about my body of work. But this is about a message that resonates with a lot of other Puerto Ricans and people of mixed cultures and mixed race, which I am. I would not do justice to the fact that I am pissed the fudge off. I am so pissed off that the single thought that occurred to me while the act of watching the news today acted as the drop consumed by the rage of the entire ocean. As the goddesses look upon it, it is apparent that we have angered the gods. The motion of my words don't come from guitars that croon. I am pleading with humanity that has turned their backs against each other, making it impossible to see that we are all the same. For we are not the same in this moment blocked by the ego. It truly feels like the whole effing world is about to end, and there I am, watching. Part 2, the revolution. Precarious journey through festivals of the human spirit, we bend and traverse to see what is next. The essence of your being lies in the perfect point of reflection. I am left screaming your name, wondering if you can hear me. Beyond the hills of purple majesty where the blood runs through the blue sky, the grain is the only resolution without violence, movement through the wind. I have lost my brother within my own country. I calmly guide your eyes to mine. Pleading at the first pang of jealousy, you will be reminded of the bond we share, irrespective of loyalty that sways us into irresponsibility. In this land, I am reminded of how young we truly are. There is no coincidence I have been born American. I have been chastised and discriminated against for the color of my skin. I have been called white by my own parents, whose blood runs thick through island sand, and colonial forefathers who have come before me. My brother, you can see what I feel without sight. The beauty of life for me is that I can only be what transcends the language we learn in school because we were denied the native language of our parents. As long as you didn't hate out, you only continued to hate yourself, and that, my child, is the balance we are confronted. As our parents have been discriminated in ways that we have not, sometimes I feel like my life is not my own. Sometimes I feel estranged from my own bloodline, which makes me only grasp onto humanity tighter without claiming my own space. Can you not see me for everything that defies light and sinks into your heart? Everything that I have to offer goes past the forefront and sinks deeper into a place where your ancestors cry for me as I beg mercy for the wrongs that I have done. What mercy can exist in the world when you think I am responsible for decades of past oppression because you perceive me as the white slave owner? So I went on living and hating myself for the color of my skin when I let someone else define me. What privilege is this? I don't hate you for calling me white today. I only hate me on the day that he raped me of my culture and my father's attempts to erase the pain of Norica and the race wars of Washington Heights, the estrangement of La Isla de Puerto Rico. I became so consumed with my own anger that I can barely sleep as night I sit here alone. I've forgotten who I was, confined to my own thoughts, my body no longer a prison, when I still cannot convince you that I am some derivative of Latino in the function of humanity. I was born to care in a time where everyone cared about the color of their skin, even if it's related to a false tan. I am quantumly displaced in time. 25 years past the hippie bus, I am picking daisies from the flower shops on streets that have run cold. There is no humanity left in this revolution. I am left to my own voice, and I sing louder. I cannot stop singing songs of freedom among amber waves of grain as I cradle to myself to sleep, only to dream of tomorrow. For the past are only nightmares of bloodshed of my brothers and sisters. I know that I cannot be free if you and they are not free. I wake up to hymns of the revolution swelling in the tides of shame, pleading with myself to be freed. If I were to transcribe my anger to the ebb and flow of the universe, it would not do it poetic justice. I do not want to live this life anymore where my house is filled to the brim with no room for me to step inside. I have assigned others to live it for me, and they are parting to unfamiliar tones as I wait outside without clothes. I left myself at the age of 12 when I allowed you to rape me of my culture, convincing you that the only color of my privilege would be white. I make my way into the room and I'm ordering people to leave, for they do not have my best intentions at heart. No sabía que hay dolor en este mundo, in my wake of authenticity. No sabía que hay dolor más cerca que yo. No sabía que hay dolor en mi casa, en los ojos de los nenes, porque no sabía que hay tanto dolor en mi corazón. En la familia mía. Who is living in this house? Estoy caminando en la oscuridad. The lights are off and there is no switch. Preguntalo al cielo, ¿dónde está el único lugar de donde venimos y regresamos? Amor, love. Porque mis padres no me quieren con todo lo que decir. Solamente hay un cheque abandoné a mi alma. Yo camino sola en busca de otra manera de vivir en el mundo que olvidó que no hay tantos calles para irnos al mismo lugar. Dígame qué te pasó contigo, mi pana. Dígame qué pasó con la erupción. Y estoy gritando en la calle preguntando si alguien me escucha. So that's what's up. That's one of my poems. Wow, I really talk about emotional check-ins and I really talk about emotional issues, but today I just wanted to extend because I've been surrounded by a lot of stories of people fighting for justice, people fighting for identity, and also the lost identity of Puerto Ricans. And that means something to me. And I think that, I do have the First Amendment right to also speak about that experience from my own, from the I. And that poem really was written 4 years ago. And it's amazing because I needed to kind of come back to that. And exploring my own emotions and exploring these check-ins. So yeah, I really encourage you in the name of arts and diversity and also taking the time to share that with you and taking the time to say that 4 years ago I was saying, preguntando al cielo, questioning the sky, asking the sky if anybody listens. And I think someone finally did. And for that reason, I really, 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 really appreciate my other home here at CCTV, because as soon as I walked through that door, the executive director, Susan, said, you can make all those things happen here. And I wanted to do something, and I want to do something that's constructive and to show people that you can explore those feelings. And next week, we're going to start with exploring these faces and feelings. But contempt, that's the face. If you see this face in trying to do something different, it's time to back away and find another venue that is safe and protects you. And I appreciate